not your ordinary. In fact, he's the biggest superstar coming straight from Africa, Ghana. In fact, he's a legend, living legend. And I'm joined by the one and only Sarkodie. What are you saying, bro?
What's up? What's up?
Saying everything nice, yeah?
Yeah, it's good, man.
Come, obviously, you're not a stranger to London.
Nah.
You've been here a couple of times.
Yeah.
So how's everything? How do you find in London?
It's great, man. London's always great. Someone actually asked me if I live in London because I'm almost always here. Yeah, but yeah, it's always great when I come. I feel like the acceptance of Afrobeat makes it more nicer, for artists like us when we're here. We still feel like home, because the energy is still great so far.
Yes, and obviously currently right now you're on your 5th studio album with The Highest, which dropped in September. In fact. And that's been doing numbers, crazy numbers. It's getting mad love.
Thank the fans.
Trust. So talk to us through it. How did the whole process come across? Like, why did you decide September was the time to drop it?
It was just the time that we finished it. We actually finished it earlier, but we just had a situation where the first time I collaborated with a company to push my project, because I've always been independent.
Yes.
This is the only time that we involved these great partners that I'm working with, Dice Recordings. So our process kind of like slowed down a little bit because we had to do some back end jobs and all that. So it took time, because I've been ready for like a year. We just had to get these things done, the paperwork and all that, and actually release it in a way that I've not done before. Way back we just used to release it, the usual, you go on iTunes and that, but this one's had placements in certain platforms that open doors for different markets and all. Yeah, so yes, it's my fifth, as you said. It's been a great journey. I've always tried sound. Highest actually represent the brand Sarkodie, because the hip hop itself, that's what Sarkodie stands for.
Absolutely. Yeah. And when it comes to hip hop, you are the best.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man, and we appreciate it as well. Also, just to top up on the way you released your album, how come you decided to do it as a partnership rather than independent for this particular album?
It's just the audience, I feel like if there's an opportunity for somebody to open up a new door for new listenership, I don't think that's a bad idea, and that was basically the reason why I opened up this time. I've been independent for long, so anybody who's independent can relate. It's really hard to open up to different people coming in. That's when you need to make decisions together and all that. But I think it was worth it because I moved out of my comfort zone to open up to some new crowd that I need to
which is important as an artist as well.
Yeah, important, very important.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's mainly my reason. It's just trying different territories and people that can assure that you can get into a system that you're not used to.
Yes, indeed. And as well as that, you got 19 tracks on the album.
Yes.
What was the full process behind that? Is that a normal standard procedure for an album, or?
No, I think I've done Sarkodie. I did like 30. Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah.
I had loads of music, but I had to sieve it down to 19.
Yeah.
It was a decision I made because of the theme of the album and the sound of it. So anything that doesn't really fall into line with the sound of the album, I dropped it. So if you listen to the album, it has kind of like a sound and a theme through the album. So the 19 wasn't anything special or like we had to plan that. It's just I felt the sound was great, and we are not supposed to add or leave something out at that point. So all the songs made it to the album, and that's the final decision we made.
Indeed, and it's a big album as well.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I've seen that you got some UK featuring on the album as well.
Yeah, man.
You got Bobby Lewis there, you got Malogo.
Yes.
And you got Big Nasty.
Yes.
So why did you decide to choose these
and
artists?
Sue the Bricks, who
yes,
did
and he's on free the interlude
the interludes,
one. Yeah, so how come you decided to choose them artists?
That wasn't planned as well. It's just when I finished, I was like, wow, these guys are all from the UK, Bobby Lewis, that was a collaboration made possible by the producer. That's like, he produced 90%. That's J Soul. J Soul is that type of artist and producer, like just a dope individual that goes on the internet to search what's hot and who has it. He has that time, So he told me about Bobby Lewis, sent me links for me to watch his stuff, and I was like, this is good.
Obviously, we're in the UK, so it's only right to ask you who or which artist are you feeling in the UK, and which artist would you like to work with that you've heard?
I really got to be real. This question keeps coming up, but I've not really for a while, not like followed the whole scene to really know who was like doing what. But obviously, we all know Stormzy, my Ghanaian brother. You know,
there's a few Ghanaians killing it, you know.
Yes,
in the UK.
Yeah, Stormzy's really doing well. I think it would be dope if me and Stormzy should get on something.
Yeah.
My all-time favorite would be Gigs. I've always been saying it. You know,
Come on,
that guy is just I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
He's too dope.